From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow, of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Boston Chris here with the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. It's the ETX ROCKS Show, episode number 293, live right here from Mojo Studio in beautiful Tatum, Texas. Mojo Studio is a division of mobile audio and video productions. Make sure you're checking them out. Link will be in the description below. But episode 293 features Zach Linley, the frontman of the Rebel Daredevils.
Yes, sir. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
You always get a little smile and a grin when you hear the band name.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
That's what happens when you let the band pick the band name. That's what that's about.
So are they taking into account how it sounds with your name?
I tried to. I said pick the band name out, and they pulled it out of a lyric from a tune that I wrote for Robbie Knievel.
Okay.
And I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "It's gonna be forever," and that's a mouthful. So
it works though.
If you say so.
I think so.
It's hard to fit it all on a small
it's
marquee.
definitely very Googleable.
Yes, it is. That's for sure. There's not a lot of other bands.
No.
With similar names.
No Rebel Daredevils out
Some
there.
rubber dirt daubers, perhaps.
That's a little bit different. Definitely a different thing out there. And people from outside of Texas have no frickin' clue what you're talking about right now.
They don't.
A dirt dauber is like a ground wasp or hornet. It's in the insect family.
That's correct.
But they're a pain in the ass.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach is here for the first time. He's got his guitar, as you can tell. He is going to play us a couple of songs. Now, the first one, I always forget the name of this one.
You're not supposed to forget. It's called Don't Forget.
Oh, Don't Forget. That's right. That's right. Tell us about this song.
I wrote this song about my grandmother after she passed, and this, like, the chorus of this song is basically what she used to tell me every time I left her house. She'd say, "Now don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent," you know. And then I built the courses just around stuff that my grandfathers both told me and my dad told me growing up. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
So the song is called Don't Forget. It's Zach Linley live here on the ETX ROCKS Show. Y'all check it out.
Simple truth, one most folks ain't up to facing. My grandpa said, life's about the giving, not the taking. To hit those crossroads in my life, to look back and reflect on those words of wisdom Grandma said. This day before she lived, she said, don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent. But don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent. Dad taught me what it means to work hard and make a hand when it comes to God and politics. You gotta know just where you stand. 'Cause these days it's too common to get caught up in the game. You know life ain't always easy, but the rules have never changed. So don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent. Don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent. when it comes to life and choosing what's wrong and what is right. The right choice might be the harder one, but you won't lose sleep at night. So don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent. Don't look back and have regret. But don't forget who you are and where you come from and what you represent.
We are back once again. That was Don't Forget by Zach Linley from Dallas, Texas, right?
It's currently from
Currently
Dallas.
from Dallas, Texas. You have been all over the place.
I've been everywhere, man.
I've heard Oklahoma. I've heard Austin. I've heard up north. Was it Michigan?
I lived in Illinois for
Illinois.
Yeah, a long time.
Made a big name for yourself up in Illinois, right?
I did, yeah, but it doesn't mean squat down here in Texas.
No, it really doesn't.
So
Yeah,
start all over.
They don't care what you do outside of Texas.
No.
Once you're here, yeah, you got to pay your dues.
Yes, that's right.
So that's kind of where you're at right now, right?
That's where I'm at. Yeah. Currently trying to rebuild the band back up and start doing some live shows, and currently shopping for studios. This one seems pretty nice, by the way.
Yeah.
To cut a new EP. So,
There you go. Well, this I highly recommend Mojo Studio for sure.
Well, I'm impressed with what I've seen, man.
They are 100% analog, 100% digital.
That's the way to do
He's
it.
got some nice toys.
I look around.
Yeah.
Nice
I'll
stuff.
give you a tour after.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, we're at Mojo Studio. We have Zach Linley. We're on episode 293, folks, already. Unbelievable. 7 away from season 3 being over and in the books. For some reason, I thought 100 episodes would be a good season. Stupid.
That was dumb.
Yeah, not smart at all. We are actually scaling back a little bit in season 4. We're going to go 50 episodes a season. I'm trying to get a little less insane.
Yeah, I understand.
So, the transition from Illinois to Texas had to be quite the culture shock for you because you've been in the music game for a long time.
I have, and when I left Illinois, I left the band, and as soon as I got down here, I started hitting open mics and booking a few solo shows, and everyone's like, well, why don't you get a band together? And I try, it's hard to explain that the guys that I was in the band with up north, I played with a few of those guys for 20 years, man.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like going through a divorce or somebody dying, it's just like, it's not like you can replace those people.
Right.
And it's just taken me about a year to get to the point where I'm ready to go out and hit it again.
And not just that, but you have a catalog of songs already established in a certain sound that was created by those band members as well as yourself.
Yeah.
So just being one small part of that it's hard to recreate that sound.
Yeah, it is, for sure. And it's, part of me says don't even try to.
Yeah,
so
just start new.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm from the north. I'm from Massachusetts. Illinois is north. That's pretty damn north when you're in Texas.
Yeah.
So, country music up north is not the same thing as country music down south. So how was it received? How were you guys received in Illinois? I know you're not 100% country. There's a lot of rock vibes as well, but
I'd say we did pretty well. I mean, we had the opportunity to open up for a lot of national acts, and I'm really proud of that aspect of it. Bargaining wise, we were not a cover band,
right?
So I always preferred going out and hitting it hard for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And open up for a national and be done. And
yeah.
That's kind of the flow rate I'm working towards here again. So.
And I mean, you've accumulated some really cool stuff that you've done throughout your career. People you've opened for, people that have taken notice of you and your band.
Yeah.
There's a cool picture on Zach's website of Winona holding one of your CDs up with a thumbs up. Like, what the hell, man? That's some cool stuff right there.
Been very blessed.
Yeah.
With lots of great opportunities like that.
So how long have you been here in Texas now?
About a year and a month.
Okay.
So
So a whole different ball. Is this your first Texas experience as well?
Yes.
I know. I heard that you were in Oklahoma, but that is slightly different than Texas. Texas is.
I'm no stranger to the whole red dirt scene.
Yeah.
But Texas has got its own thing going
But
on.
everything you've done up until now was not red dirt. It was country music.
Right.
It was straight, true and true country music
Right.
with some rock vibes. But really, that's what red dirt is also kind of known for: is straight, true and true country music with some rock vibes.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel you were different than that coming in?
I don't know. I had no background in the whole Texas scene. And actually, up until about 10 years ago, I had no idea what red dirt was till I saw Brandon Jenkins at Willie's Saloon in Stillwater one night. And
eye-opening
to say the least. And it changed my whole musical direction. I mean, before that, I was a rocker.
Yeah.
You know.
I could see that from you.
Yeah.
Just from hearing your vibes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just listening to your catalog over time, I can feel that evolution going on within you.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting for you as the artist that's experiencing that, looking back at it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
My dad tried to shove George Jones and Willie Nelson and Waylon down my throat when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I always rebelled from it. And about the time I turned 30, I started listening to those songs again. I was like,
it happened a lot later for you.
Damn it, Dad, you were right.
Yeah,
you know,
it happened a lot later for you than for me.
Yeah.
Because my dad was the same way. Again, growing up in Massachusetts, country music's not exactly
the norm.
Yeah, it's not front and center
Right.
all day, every day like it is in Texas. So my dad was, he grew up on Hank Sr. and Red Foley and,
Right.
All of those cats from back in the 40s and 50s. And so that's what I was listening to as a kid, and I hated it. Absolutely hated country music. And my aunt got me involved in like 80s hair metal, glam rock, whatever you want to call it, like Poison, Motley Crue, all that stuff. And that was cool to me.
Yeah.
And my dad hated that because it was cool to me and his music wasn't.
Right.
It was a Daryl Dodd cover of Tom T. Hall. That's how I got to Memphis. That turned me back on to country music, and I was probably 19.
Right
So
on.
it happened a lot earlier for me than for you. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Brandon Jenkins had something to do with your changeover, so to speak, because he's that kind of artist, man. Like just a real artist.
Yeah.
What made you? What was the motivation to come to Texas?
Actually, Van was doing really well, and my wife got offered her dream job down here, so I love my wife more than the band.
Yeah.
So here
So
I am.
it wasn't about music.
No.
That's incredible. So when you find out, like, okay, you got your dream job, so you're more important than my band.
Yeah.
I imagine, as passionate as you are about music, the first thing you had to be doing was, okay, what's the music scene like down there?
Yeah. I started doing some research immediately.
Yeah.
Took me about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so this is going to happen now. How does this affect me musically?
Right.
But a year later, you still haven't got yourself a band, so you must be pretty particular.
I am pretty particular.
Yeah.
And that's good and bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I've met some great bands in the Dallas area. Bands like the Zach Romo Band and Colton O'Neill.
Yeah.
And my buddy Kenneth Waters. All great bands doing great things right there in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
So.
And people don't realize, because Fort Worth is right there too.
Oh yeah.
That Dallas does have a very, very, very healthy music scene.
Yes.
But Fort Worth kind of overshadows that a little bit just because of the stockyards and all that stuff. But there's a lot of phenomenal artists in Dallas proper, for sure.
It's huge, and when you have that many people, you're gonna have some serious saturation of talent.
Absolutely.
Just like you think Nashville, you think Austin, it's the same.
Yeah.
Same deal.
So as the new guy, how do you break through?
You hope for the best, expect the worst, and pray to God and pray to Jesus.
Right. And you just got to get your foot in the door.
Yep.
Because you have to know the talent's there.
Yep.
Right? You already know that. I know you're probably a really humble guy, but the
I try to
talent
be.
has to be there first. And once you get your feet in the door, it's all running from there. So are you basically right now just playing in Dallas mostly? Because you said you drove from Round Rock.
I have done some select shows throughout the U.S. this year.
Yeah.
But very select, small. I've done a few runs up back to Illinois, and then I played with Phil Vassar in Wisconsin earlier this summer. So.
Yeah, because I know you have a huge fan base in Illinois, so
Yeah.
you probably have to make that a
Kind of have to.
kind of a priority.
If you want to sell records, that's how you have to do it. Yeah.
And I mean, you've been a nationally touring act for God, 15 years at least, right?
With this band, not that long, but yeah, I've been
Long
out.
time.
Yeah.
Another great picture, George Jones. I mean, what?
That was epic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, I met George Jones once too, and me being an idiot, I didn't realize that, hey, I should take a picture of this.
Right.
You know, that's why I have a fiance now. She reminds me.
She's there to remind you. Yeah.
You need to take pictures, Boston, because if you don't, you're gonna have another George Jones moment.
Right.
Oh, what a mess up that was, dude. Ray Price, same thing. Met Ray Price, didn't have a camera, didn't plan ahead.
Come on, man.
I was single, you know.
Gotta get
I
your
wasn't
shit
thinking
together.
like that. Yeah, gotta get your shit together. There's definitely a lot of outlaw vibes to your music as well. You mentioned your dad kind of pushed that on you as a
Right.
youngster. You picked it up at 30. What was that rediscovering process like for you? It's like now I'm listening to this stuff as an adult.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And as an older person, I'll say that. I guess after 30, you're pretty old, right? You can relate a lot more to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I find, and
Right.
a lot more meaning in the songs.
Yeah,
So
the fight inside of me doesn't mean shit when you're 14.
no, it doesn't. You know, take this job and shove it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. All of Paycheck's songs are not going to make sense to a youngster, that's for
Right.
sure.
Right.
But the outlaw movement, I love the fact that you have these influences within outlaw. You have influences within the Red Dirt, within rock and roll, all of this stuff, all wrapped up into one guy, bringing bandmates aboard with that too. So all of your recording, you've recorded quite a few albums as well.
Yes, I have on iTunes. I have currently 3
Yeah.
albums out.
And is there plans for the first one in Texas yet?
I'm underway right now.
Yeah, and he looked
Like I
over.
said.
He looked over at Mark when he said that. I think we might be on to something here, guys.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, for sure.
Have your people call my people.
We'll do.
Dallas ain't that far, y'all. It's 2.5 hours if you speed.
Took me 2:15.
Yeah, see, exactly. 2:15. My kind of guy right here. Are you originally from the north? Where are you originally from?
I was born in Effingham, Illinois.
Okay, so you are a Yankee.
Yeah. I'm
Got here as quick as you could, though.
Yeah, I did.
It's interesting that you have the same background. You turned on to country music from the northern states.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you feel outcasted a little bit as a kid? You have this dad that's listening to all this weird music, because I know it's weird up north.
My dad grew up in Arkansas.
Okay.
And, I've been around people that talk like this all my life.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stuck, So
Yeah.
it wasn't a hard transition. I mean,
Well, see, at least you had that southerner in your family.
Yeah.
Somehow my dad never left the north, and somehow he was turned on to country music. I have no idea how. I'm just thrilled to death that he was.
That's
you
great,
know, like
man.
I wouldn't know who Marty Robbins is, and that would be a travesty. You know.
well, next time you talk to your dad, thank him for his taste.
Oh, I
in
wish
music.
I could.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, 2013, but
Oh man, I'm sorry.
it's all good. It's all good. He's the reason for the show, actually.
Right
You
on.
know, and he told me I need to follow your dreams. I finally did. So
Well, good.
if you're
man.
passionate about something, follow it. That's what my dad used to say all the time. So this was the first time I actually ever did that, and here I am on TV, basically.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yes, it is.
So you're turned on to music.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you probably picked up the guitar at some point. Then from there you transitioned to songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
What part of all of that was your favorite part?
The songwriting part's always been my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to write a song about experiences that you've had. Some of my favorite songs that I've written have been about experiences that I've seen other people go through, or stories that I've heard other people tell me.
Yeah.
And they'll just say that one little thing that'll just spark
Right.
And
How do you connect to a song like that? Because that's basically fiction for you.
you have to just put yourself into their situation or
Yeah.
into that situation.
Because it has to be a connectable song for your audience.
I try to keep some things vague enough that you can kind of relate to it in your own way.
Yeah, open-ended. They're just like double word plays and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that in Don't Forget.
Yes, there is.
That we just listened to.
Yes, there is.
Call that clever turns of phrase, or is that right? Clever turns of phrase. I think that's how you put
Sounds
it.
right.
Yeah, we'll go with that. If it's wrong, don't comment down below. Please don't. So songwriting was your favorite part of the process.
Always has been.
Picking up a guitar, how natural was that for you?
I started playing guitar when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though your dad you were kind of rebelling against this kind of music.
Yep.
So what were you playing?
I started out, I think the first tune I ever learned was the Eagles' Lion Eyes.
Nice.
So
that was, the Eagles was your rebelling.
no, that was just the only sheet music we had in the house.
That's so yeah, I get that. Opportunity is what it is.
Yes.
The opportunity over what you like.
Yes.
Although the Eagles are phenomenal.
Yeah.
By the way, we've had an Eagle on the show.
Wow.
Yeah. Their current steel player has been on our show.
Very
Milo
nice.
Deering, he's from right here in East Texas. Incredible session musician. One of the best. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He was our second episode.
Nice.
291 ago.
291.
Wow, that's a long time. So Zach Linley is here, one of the first Northerners on the show. Not the first, but one of the first.
Sorry boot that.
What?
Said sorry boot that.
That's okay. Sorry, boot that.
Not quite that far north.
No, not that north. Eh? I don't think we've had a Canadian on the show yet. We're going to have to change that. Shania Twain, call me.
Fred Eaglesmith calling.
Yeah, that would be better. Actually, Shania, don't call me. Please don't. So within your songwriting, when you're in that creative process, you have so many different genres, so many different styles to pull from. And obviously you want to have a message in the song as well, whether it's a personal connection to the song or something that you've heard about or heard, somebody's relaying their story to you. Do you hear a genre while you're in the process of writing, or does that come later?
I try to have one in mind.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then I'll switch to a different genre and see if I can mix that with the genre that I had in mind.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, give me an example.
This song I wrote called Honky Tonk Heaven. I wanted to write an old school type country song, 3/4 time.
Okay.
And it sounded a little too old school. So I threw in some blues, really heavy, like Chicago style blues leads over it.
Wow.
And stuff like that.
And so that's the Illinois coming out.
That's the Illinois coming out.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm always curious about that, especially when we have a dynamic artist like you in the studio talking about the different genres, because everything is so open-ended here in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, you had to fit somewhere. They still try to make people fit today if it's a major label, but that's going away, and I think that they're finally realizing that.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't fit, you're just termed Americana, which is just ridiculous
It's
to
a
me.
generic term for everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, Americana's country music now. I mean, honestly,
For the most part, yeah.
So you come to Texas, and you probably realize pretty quickly that singer-songwriter kind of stuff is pretty big here.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
solo stuff.
Noticed, yeah.
So did you jump into that right away, or?
I waited a little bit. I did. To tell you the truth, when I moved down here, I was doing 175 dates a year.
Yeah.
Working a full-time job.
Yep.
And I was
With a full band.
with a full band. Well, half and half. About half full band, half solo
Okay.
shows. And I was burnt
Oh.
to a crisp.
Yeah.
So I was ready for a break.
So creatively, are you just lacking there too, like writing?
No. The writing's actually I wanted the break so I could concentrate more on the writing
Yeah.
than playing the shows.
Cool.
So I've got about
So it's when you're really hitting the road hard that your writing suffers a little bit.
oh yeah, you don't have time to do
Yeah.
a lot of writing.
I've noticed that about artists. It's like the more successful the writing is, the more shows you have,
And the
then
less writing you can do.
less writing you
to
can
follow
do.
up, yeah.
So it's like, what do you prioritize? Is it the live show you prioritize, or is it the,
I think you have to
I got to have new content?
you have to keep everything in balance, I think, and if you don't, then you end up playing a song that's 8 years old, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
So do you just have to kind of reel yourself in?
Yeah. I think you have to set goals and try to keep yourself in check, and like I said, just kind of stay balanced. I wake up every morning and I try to write for 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right when I get up in the morning.
So you're doing it every day?
Every day.
And do you do that because, man, I hate to use the terminology like, you know, just throwing something against the wall to see what sticks, but do you feel like the more you write, the more likely you're going to have something that hits?
I consider it more of exercise. And
Awesome.
the more exercise you do, the better in
Yeah.
shape you are. Same with your mind and everything
That's
else.
brilliant.
So
That's really, really smart, because I know a lot of artists that can't write like that. They have to be inspired, or they have to set aside an entire afternoon for
Right.
themselves in order to just sit there and stare at a wall and see what hits them. With you, you're just writing every day.
yeah,
And it's practice for you.
yeah,
That's incredible.
you're right. You write 100 songs and 80 of them might be crap, but
Right.
20 are keepers.
So how do you decide what's crap and what isn't?
I usually know I'll listen to it a couple times and I'll know right then and there. It's like, this has potential, and
Yeah.
that's stuff that's not definitely
Do you have
sticking
some
with me.
songs that kind of skirt the fence there that you kind of need outside help?
Yes, and I do miss co-writing with some buddies
Yeah.
back in Illinois, and I'm trying to get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to re-network. You got to reintroduce yourself to new people. I can imagine that can be kind of tough too.
It is. It's really hard, especially when you don't know someone that well,
Yeah.
and someone comes up with a line, and you think, well, that really sucks. And you're like, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you mentioned the marriage, you know,
Yeah.
earlier with the band, you know,
Yeah.
like you're divorcing your band. It's the same thing in a co-writing situation.
Yes.
Number one, you have to trust each other wholeheartedly,
Yes.
because you're both going into basically a contract with
Yeah.
the song. So you have to be able to trust each other, not just, you know, in a real world scenario, but also creatively.
And even more important than that is you have to be able to take criticism from each other,
Absolutely.
and that's the bigger part.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's usually the breakup phase when somebody can't take that criticism.
Yeah.
You know, because not the cool thing about co-writing, and I think the most important thing about co-writing, is you do it for a different perspective.
Yeah.
And to better your own craft. And you can be two songwriters that are really great and come in and suck together.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're not willing to.
There has to be a chemistry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there has to be compromise. So when you're moving from one area to another, and now you have to rebuild all of those connections with completely different people, that's got to be pretty daunting.
A little bit,
Yeah.
but here I am.
Yeah. So as a solo songwriter, obviously, if you're a lot of songwriters watch the show, I know this. You know, there's a huge difference between just sitting down in the morning, as you say, and just writing a song, rather than sitting with somebody else. Each one has advantages, pros and cons, if you will. Right. For you as an artist, what is the pros and cons of single songwriting and co-writing?
If I write a song by myself, I know I have 100% total creative control.
Right.
And I can do whatever the hell I want.
Right.
And when I do a co-write, I have to take into consideration what they are thinking and try to come up with some sort of common bond and find the glue that sticks both of the ideas together.
Right.
And it's hard sometimes when you know that the other person's got the better line or they have the better transition, and you just have to accept that and move along. And
check your ego at the door.
Yeah, there cannot be any ego when it comes to the co-writes.
Absolutely.
So.
And really, ego doesn't work in music anyway. It's.
I tell you what, rule number one is if you can't be nice to everybody you meet, you're not in the right business.
That's right. And everything you say can be heard.
And held against you in a court of law.
Yes. Or in the court of public opinion, which can be worse than the court of law.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't show your ass. That's one of the things my grandmother used to tell me. Don't show your ass. Somebody writes a song about that, I want my third. I'm just saying. That should be a Luke Bryan song.
Got a piece of paper in a pen.
I might, possibly.
All right, we'll talk later.
Absolutely. So we're sitting here with Zach Linley. Zach is going to play us another song. Tell us a little bit about the second song you're going to play.
This song is a song that I co-wrote with a buddy of mine named Aaron Edwards, and he was traveling a lot away from work, and I was gone constantly. And it's about just being away from home, from your family. And I played it for my wife, and she said, "Oh my God, it makes me sound like a truck." And I said, "What the hell's wrong with that?" But it's called More With Every Mile.
What is it called?
More With Every Mile.
More With Every Mile. Y'all, this is Zach Linley live and unplugged right here at Mojo Studio with More With Every Mile.
I've been living like a loner, out of bags tucked into corners, and this hotel room sure don't feel like home. When I wake up in the morning, call to see how things are going, just to hear your voice helps to calm the storm. Every road leads back to you. All these twists and turns between the lines, you help me make it through. When I close my eyes, I see your face and smile, because you're with me all the way, and I love you more with every mile. Every mile. As I'm riding down this highway, I pretend you're here beside me, and I talk to you just like I talk to God. And on those nights I'm feeling somber, you're the angel on my shoulder, and your love helps light the way back home. Every road leads back to you. All these twists and turns between the lines, you help me make it through. When I close my eyes, I see your face and smile, because you're with me all the way, and I love you more with every mile. More with every mile. More with every mile. More with every mile.
All right, we are back once again. It's episode 293 featuring Zach Linley. You were just listening to More With Every Mile, a song about longing.
Song about trucks. Yes, my wife.
Yep. What's her favorite kind of truck?
She doesn't like trucks, man. She's
Clearly not.
she's a Jeep girl. She likes Jeeps.
There you go. But she didn't say you were singing about Jeeps, just trucks.
Yeah, just trucks.
Wow. Do you like trucks?
I like trucks.
So what's the problem?
I don't know. She should just be happy I'm not singing about another woman, right?
That's very true.
That's what I think.
The man likes trucks, which means he likes you.
Come on.
Yeah. See?
Jeez.
So Zach, if people hearing about you for the first time, where can they follow along with everything you got going on?
I'm on all the social medias. You can you can Google Zach Linley.
Yeah.
And that'll probably point the way.
Or Rebel Daredevils.
Or Zach Linley and the Rebel Daredevils.
Yeah. That's very Googleable. We create words here on the
I was
show
going to
all
say,
the
is
time.
is Googleable a word?
It is now.
It should be.
Yeah,
It's
it really
not.
should be. And I do know you have a website. It's hard to remember how to type it out.
I'm just changing it.
Okay.
So in the next 3 days, it's going to be just myname.com, www.zachlinley.com.
Perfect.
That's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll make sure that's in the description down below for everybody to click on that. I know your social media is linked through there. There's a good bio, tour information, stuff like that, and links to the music, which is very important. I think you're available everywhere, right? iTunes,
Spotify, Pandora, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so make sure you're checking that out. Hit the like and follow button on all his social media. That's the best way you can support the artist now in the 21st century, because venues, labels, all of those places need to see the following, unfortunately. So do that. You, believe it or not, you the fan have the power nowadays, which is a good thing, actually. So hit like or follow, and buy the music. One thing we like to do, or we're proponents of, is buy the music, put it in your library, then stream the music on Spotify or Pandora.
That's great. I'm cool with just stream the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, I'll take my 0.0000005 cents. I get a check every month, man.
Yeah, every month. Yep.
I buy a cup of coffee with that check.
Not at Starbucks either, right?
No.
We're talking like a McDonald's cup of coffee.
That's too ritzy, man.
Yeah.
Too ritzy.
Starbucks, that's like 3 months. So if you're watching the ETX Rock Show for the first time, we definitely appreciate y'all spending some time with me and Zach here today on the show. You can follow along with everything we have going on at ETX Rocks. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So hit the follow or like buttons there. Also, if you're listening on audio, we're also available over there on the YouTube in high definition video, which is a scary thing when I'm on the show.
Come on, give yourself.
Well, they tell me I have a face made for radio.
I'm
not sure if
they're
that's
full
true.
of shit.
Okay. You heard it here, guys. Now we have to put a disclaimer on the show.
Sorry.
No, I'm the first one that cussed, so it's all good. Yeah. So make sure you're hitting the subscribe button over there on YouTube. And apparently there's a little bell located on YouTube as well, because I can't say subscribe.
Is it down there?
Yeah, right there next to that subscribe button.
Okay.
Subscribe. Haha. I got it. And apparently that bell, when you click it, will notify you whenever we have new content uploaded. So do that. Hit the bell, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And that's the best way you can help us out here on the show. And we appreciate that. We are also completely low budget on the show, which means we could use your help in upgrading the show. We have a donate link set up at www.paypal.me/ETXRocks. And we'll take anything from 5 cents to $47.
Not 48.
We could probably be talked into it.
Okay.
But it's Sunday, so we're trying to keep it light.
Okay.
You know, not supposed to work on Sundays, or is it Saturdays? It's one of those 2 days. It's one of them. I'm going to go to church next Sunday and figure out which one it is.
Okay.
Comment down below. No, don't. It's because of y'all's contributions out there that we were recently able to launch a brand new website over at www.etxrocks.show. Y'all check out the website. We have over 10,000 hours worth of content on there, from live music videos, intimate performances like from Zach here today, and all of our full-length episodes as well. That is at etxrocks.show, not .com. Remember that, it's .show, and that'll be in the description down below as well. You can just click the link, and we have an internet radio playlist there as well with all 600 and some odd live performances here on the show, including Zach. Zach's will be on there as well, all 3 of his songs. He had a sneak peek song that came out about a week ago that we're going to put at the end of this little outro as well, so y'all stick around for that. Yeah. And as we always say on the ETX Rock Show, we want to thank you guys out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. An old bar stool prophet, nothing to lose, had me sized up as I walked walked in that room. He said the faces are different, the scene's still the same. So what's 20 years ago back in my day? It's a long winding road that I know well by name. But if you wanna go there, I'll point the way. Just drink a few thousand bottles, break a good woman's heart. Till you hit rock bottom, son, that's a good start. Till memories start singing their own sorrow tales. 'Cause if you wanna get into honky-tonk heaven, first you'll have to go through hell. I told him I'm just a young man, still got something to prove. Lost in the haze of these old neon rooms, and under that spotlight, when I'm up on that stage, I hear these honky-tonk angels all calling my name. He said the spotlight can warm you on a long winter night. Find a good girl to hold you, you best treat her right. Or drink a few thousand bottles, break a good woman's heart. Till you hit rock bottom, son, that's a good start. Till the memories start singing their own sorrow tales. 'Cause if you wanna get into honky-tonk heaven, first you'll have to go through hell. He said, I hope one day you don't look in the mirror to see there's a lonely old man there where you used to be. You see what Willie don't mention in that song known so well is that this old whiskey river's just a fast ride to hell. You drink a few thousand bottles, break a good woman's heart. Till you hit rock bottom, son, that's a good start. Till the memories start singing their own sorrow tale. 'Cause if you wanna get into honky-tonk heaven, first you'll have to go through hell. You'll have to go through hell.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow, of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks.